Welcome to ECN Trade Daily Video. Before we begin, it should be noted that any advice is of a general nature only and that your personal circumstances have not been taken into consideration. Hello everyone, my name is Rob Clayton and thank you very much for joining me. Well, after a brief week start yesterday, the Australian dollar has regained some of its losses and now looking towards that 75 handle with the resistance seen at 75.25. In light of the current pattern and also the expected weakness, I do see a view that the market will turn back towards 74.50 and lower towards 73.80.95. The only real concerns is if we see a move above 75.45, as this will give further scope up towards 85 and then reassess from there. Well, with the FOMC minutes released this morning, the US dollar ended up weaker and now looking towards 96.5 on the index, with euro looking towards that 112.40.80 region. Now, it is viewed that the market will eventually give up its gains from the overnight and look eventually down towards the support that comes in minor at 111.60 and towards 110.70.90. We will have to reassess from there in view of the fact that we could see a rebound from that level. The market would only turn bearish if we do see a fall beneath there, but at the moment it is a little bit concerning that the US dollar has weakened again and could actually see further scope to the downside and bring in the pressure back towards that top side around 112.80 to the figure. While with dollar yen popping its head above the 112 handle, failed to sustain and now looking back towards a minor support at 111.40, that could actually see further weakness towards 110.80.90. Now, it is beneath there, the market would actually expose further downside pressure and look towards 110.05.15, which I believe now is starting to form as a potential bullish base and see a recovery from there. On the day, resistance comes in at 111.95 as minor and firmer above there at 112.60.70. Well, the Great British Pound still pretty much holding to a negative bias and still looking towards the downside with the target holding at 128.30.45. Any advances beyond the 130 handle should still find firm resistance at 130.40.60. In light of the current pattern, I do expect to see the market still hold to a negative bias. When you still look at these indicators, they're still holding and supporting a further down move. Well, the gold pretty much going nowhere overnight, but still looking towards the top side of that 12.70.72 target. With the resistance now seen 61 to 62 on the day, I still expect to see this cap hold and eventually see the market turn away from there and look down towards the the downside of minor support at 51 and then lower down towards that 47 to 44. And to wrap up with oil, well, the market pretty much has failed to take out that resistance that's seen around 51.70, although still challenging this region. The technicals are looking a little bit to the overcooked side, so I do expect to see weakness to return and eventually look towards the target of 50.80. Now, that being said, we could still see a spike to the upside, but I feel that the market will pretty much be tackled at 52.5 to 53.5 as a firmer cap, with the overall outlook eventually turning to the downside. So that wraps up my daily video. Thank you very much for joining me, and I hope you have a great day ahead.